So let me ask you something. Are you bored of Bitcoin right now? Well, that could actually be a good thing. Welcome to Empire Trading Academy, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you have not already. And let's get right into this. First technicals, second on-chain data. Guys, when we start to get to the point where we're kind of getting bored with Bitcoin or the crypto market, we're kind of waiting for something to happen. That's usually when we start to get big moves. All right. Now, first, what is Bitcoin doing on the lower time frame? Okay, if we look in the very, very immediate past, we'll say past couple days, we've just been in this trading range from 48,000 to 45.5. Okay, just going back and forth, testing lows, testing highs, and just consolidating, right? And then overall in the macro, we've really just been consolidating between 60, we'll call it 68 recently, right? But we've just been consolidating between 68 and 30,000 for, almost the past year now, right? And so in that sense, even in a macro sense, hey, we've kind of gotten bored. Bitcoin hasn't really been moving. Everybody's trying to determine bull market, bear market. What are we doing, right? So let's hop back on to the lower time frame. Okay, we've been in this range. Okay, we're trying to figure out what is going to happen now. If we zoom out just a little bit more, we are in a little bit. We're in an even bigger trading range that's been happening between 52 and 45.5. Okay, which is more distinguishable. Now, ultimately for the bulls, okay, we want to see something like this, right? We want to ultimately flip this resistance, turn it into support, make our way up. Now flip that resistance into support and on our way up. And in my opinion, this is exactly what's going to happen for a few different reasons. Okay. First, we're holding big support levels. All right. So if we zoom out, right, we pick up on the daily, we're holding these big support levels. All right. One, just a more conventional, if we draw a trend line from the top of these distribution tops, okay, we've broken out of that and now we're coming to retest that and we're still holding that level. Okay. That's good. If we take our fib retracement from our initial top, from our top, our all-time high to our bottom, so this latest impulse move, we're back on the 50% retracement, okay? 50%, not technically a fib level, but a common retracement level, and we're still holding that positive, okay? Now, if we go back and we look at our fractal that came from 2019 to 2020, okay, we're still holding that beautifully, right? We've talked about this before on the channel. We have this test, we have our impulse move, we have a break below support, we have a break back above, flipping that support, that resistance into support, two distribution tops with two tests of support here. Identical thing happening. Retrace to support, impulse move, squeeze below, flip resistance back to support, two distribution tops with two tests of support. Okay, if you have to pause that to look at that closely, please do so, because this is big. Now, even if we go ahead and zoom in on these 5 points, okay, we have this trading range, a bump above, retest of the lows of this trading range, consolidation, slow grind upward into our impulse move. Trading range, bump, retest the lows, and then we're going to look for some sort of consolidation, grinding upward, which is exactly what we just talked about, flipping these lower time frame resistance and support levels. All right, so it's astonishing how close these are. If we also look at the RSI, guys, on these points, we've already touched on this. The RSI is looking extremely identical to this. Okay, extremely close. We have this little bit of consolidation during this trading range, a big bump up, okay, and then a retesting of the support, slow grind up. Some consolidation here, a big bump up, a retest of this, and then if we continue to follow this, and if our thesis is right, we'll get that continued grind up and start the next part of this run. It's crazy how familiar or how similar this is, guys. And if we talk about, the boredom of Bitcoin, this makes a lot of sense. What we saw here, right? This kind of flat, slow grind up. There's a little bit of boredom, right? the same exact thing is matching the sentiment here as well. And we're also about to touch on the on-chain that's matching up extremely well to what was going on back here also. So it's very hard to believe that we're in a bear market. Things are not pointing to that. You have to stretch indicators and metrics and structure to fit that, in our opinion. Okay. Lastly, on the charts, guys, if we go ahead and we look at these, if we put our Elliott wave pattern on there, we take our correction down. Okay, we have our ABC correction down. We find that ultimately at 29,000. Okay, and in our opinion, this is our first move. Okay, that is what makes sense with this overall first macro impulse. Okay, we retest these lows. That's our first and second wave. Our third is up here. Our fourth comes back and tests higher than our first. Okay, remember impulse, we never can get a correction that's underneath this the high of this first impulse wave. Okay, and then we see our fifth. Now we've had our ABC correction finding support at this $45,000 level. And once again, this makes sense with our thesis going back to this fractal, along with all the big support levels that we are holding. Okay, along with on-chain data. All right, so then we go ahead and we start our third macro. This would be our first, right? And we start our third macro wave up. I'm not going to go into the macro on this video. Possibly in a later video, we'll definitely touch on that. But this is going to start our next impulse move and the majority of our bull run. All right, guys. So that's what we're looking at on the charts. Okay, first thing we want to go to. So we'll hop to the stock to flow really quickly. A lot of people are saying that this is invalidated or that this is bearish. We've been hearing, okay, this is anything but bearish. We're about one standard deviation from the model to the downside. Okay, anytime that happens, there's immediate. I won't say immediate, but there is our move can only go up, right, in order to keep this intact. This has been valid so far, and so we're going to continue to think that it is until it's not. So one standard deviation to the downside, kind of like what we saw, very similar to what we saw at this $30,000 level initially in July. And so it's very likely that we get this big move up. Now, if we're looking at the colors, okay, in the days until halving, you'll notice, guys, that when we get into this dirty brown, that's really the bear market. We get into this dirty brown, we've already had a top. And so we're starting to get into this dirty brown now, except with the exception of this 2011. However, guys, things are starting to look more and more like this is either an extended cycle, a super cycle, or these real 4-year cyclical moves of Bitcoin is starting to come to an end. All right, because if, again, we never want to take one piece of information and use that as a sole support of our thesis, right? And so we look at this with all the other metrics and we don't say, hey, we're in a bear market because of this color, right? But we take the more substantial evidence and more evidence of a bull market and then go ahead and see what this could mean based on those pieces, right? And so, in our opinion, we go ahead and we extend this run, okay? And we extend this run into 2022, and we get our top in 2022 and a shorter bear market in 23 and 24. So that is what we're looking like here on stock to flow. And if we're looking at our deflection, so this is basically just how much we're deviating from stock to flow, okay? And if we're in the green underneath, it means very undervalued. And if we are in the red above, we're overvalued. You'll see at the top of the markets, we're way overvalued, right? That means that our stock to flow is going to be way above the model, okay? Or our price action is way above the model. And you'll notice on all of these deep green moves, we'll say on this metric, right? Definitely below 1, but we're at local bottoms. Okay, so we found a bottom here, deep in the green, even higher, deeper in the green, local bottom. We never saw Bitcoin lower than this again. And again, here, deep in the green, here, bottom, never saw Bitcoin lower again. Here, never saw Bitcoin lower again. Here, never saw Bitcoin lower again. Deep, deep, deep into the green here. So in our opinion, guys, we are most likely never going to see a Bitcoin that is lower than 29,000. Okay, this gives that indication. We've never in the bear market we have, or in the bull run, in the next bull run, we've never seen a retrace to previous all-time highs. And so, in our opinion, this is what is going to set the floor for us going forward. Okay, so I don't believe we ever get a $30,000 Bitcoin ever again. All right, and so this is matching up perfectly with our bullish thesis. That looks good. If we're looking at the Puel multiple, this is basically just taking and putting into a ratio, or a single unit number, and it's taking the 360-day moving average of Bitcoin's price and which they're issued at, and it's divisible by the every single Bitcoin that's being issued and the price of that. Okay, and so basically what we get are these two zones. All right, so we get this red zone and we get this green zone. Now, marking out tops and bottoms of macro Bitcoin cycles. So we have this red zone, right? And you can see we get into the red zone, but we flash above in these parabolic moves. We flash above this 6 level. All right, we did it here in this mid-cycle top. We did it here in the ultimate top in 2014. We did it here in 2018, right? We found the top there. Okay, we have yet to do that this cycle, right? And then conversely, we, on the flip side, in the bear market, right, we flash below this 0.4 level. Okay, ultimately, green is gonna find our local bottoms as well. Okay, bottom. Right, bottom here, flash below on our metric. Flash below 0.4 into the green area. Bitcoin never saw this level ever again. Again, bear cycle, bottom of bear market here, below 0.4, never saw Bitcoin lower again. Okay, and here again, never saw Bitcoin lower again. Local bottoms. And what did we get here on our $29,000 test? Okay, we didn't get a flash below, but we did test this green, right, which is giving us an indication of a local bottom. Okay, and then we pair that with the fact that we never got up into above our 6 metric into the red in this cycle. And so again, this helps to support the bullish thesis. All right, and so this is looking really good, and we'll continue to watch this and see if we can get some upward momentum getting up into this red zone. And lastly, guys, we're looking at exchange net position change. Very basic metric, but extremely, extremely important. Okay, whether or not coins are coming on or off of exchanges on a daily basis. Okay, so what we've had here recently is a little bit of indecision, right? But overall, coins still coming off of exchanges in this bottom. Okay, so that's a good point. Now, something I want to point out: if we look at this local top. Okay, this is our second distribution top. If we're looking at this, right, this is our second distribution top. And if we're looking and comparing the fractals, if we look here, we had coins coming onto exchanges at the all-time high. Okay, this is the all-time high. This distribution top was the local high. All right, we had these coins coming onto exchanges, and then we had a falling off, right, on our correction, and then back to coins coming off, right? Now, if you look, and previously we had coins coming off of exchanges on that first distribution. First distribution top here, coins coming off of exchanges. Second distribution top, coins going on. Not crazy amount like here or here near a top, right? Like a mid-cycle top, but second distribution top, coins coming onto exchanges, followed by coins coming off of exchanges on the bottom. And a very similar thing is happening here. Now, this was the very beginning after a long bear market, excuse me, right? And then this is we'll call it a mid cycle, or just a restart of this bull run, right? So this is not quite mimicking this, but it's just because of the where we are in the cycles, and that's our opinion. Okay, but everything else is looking extremely similar, and we don't have any coins. Definitely don't have any coins pouring onto exchanges. All right, guys, that is what we're looking at for Bitcoin. Please hit the subscribe and hit that like if you liked what you saw and want to continue to stay up to date with this. Go check out our website, guys, empiretradingacademy.com. All just premier trading tools. We have on-chain tools on there. We have the course. We have the tier 3 updates from myself, technical courses, any one-on-one stuff. Just a whole array of tools in order for you to take your trading to the next level. Let us know if you have any questions, guys, and we'll see you next video.